Namaskar. Welcome to our course on the Bhagavad Gita. Today we are going to lesson 9. So we are almost in the end of the course and we have 2 more to go to come to our conclusion. Today we are going to see mainly 2 points. One is the difference between Dharmakśetra and Kurukśetra. We are going to talk more about what is the Dharmakśetra, what's the Kurukśetra. The next point we are going to talk about the meaning of Arjuna, which is the luminous factor, or in Sanskrit, Tejastattva. As usual, you can communicate with me through the chat window. You can ask questions or anything you want to share, just type it there. I will keep an eye on it during the presentation. So that's the way we can communicate. So lesson 9 of the Bhagavad Gita and the Mahabharata according to Tantra. I will do a review, a course review. We went through 8 lessons so far. These 8 lessons, so what did we see in these 8 lessons? On the first one, we got this overview of the Mahabharata, the Gita, that the Gita is within the Mahabharata, that the Mahabharata is this great war that happened thousands of years ago. There are different characters in this war, and there is a symbolic or meaning of those characters. And also that the name of the characters is very relevant. So the name is very relevant. The actions of the characters are very relevant. The position and how they appear and everything related to the characters is important, and there is some symbolism behind it. So we don't take it just like a story and just like a name. If we understand that name, it will help us to understand the symbolic meaning or the symbolism behind that character. In the lesson 2 and 3, we concentrated on the main character. The main character of the whole thing is Krishna, even though it's a war between 5 brothers and 100 brothers, and Krishna is nothing but the charioteer of one of the brothers. Still, the whole thing moves around Krishna. And actually, Krishna is, in the end, directing the whole thing. And he is doing that also in a way of teaching and in a way of establishing Dharma. So he's teaching about establishing Dharma. He's saying he comes for establishing Dharma. And he's doing that also. So there is the philosophy and the practice, everything is happening together. And he's teaching the individuals, he's teaching the whole society, because all that is remaining, and today we are studying it. And we are also getting this teaching. So it's a very interesting and amazing piece of work. And this Mahabharata and the Gita, and so the character of Krishna is the main one. So that's why we spent 2 lessons on it. Then we went to lesson 4, that now who is that Krishna? Is Bhagavan, and we explained, we understood what is the Bhagavan and what are the qualities and characteristics and strengths of Bhagavan. And that the Bhagavad Gita is an expression of the Bhagavan. And then we talked about Bharata. Bharata is the next most important character, let's say, Arjuna, and he is called Bharata by Krishna. So why? We saw that Bharata, because Arjuna is not only to think about the physical well-being, but also about the psychic and spiritual. Then, lesson 5, we were talking about the 3 vital factors, which is surrender, asking the right questions, and doing service. And in that time, Arjuna, he was also doing service. We may think, okay, he was a warrior. What service was he doing? The service of a warrior is to protect or to do something as a warrior. So that is his service. So he was also doing that. And he was also asking Krishna the questions. So that was also Krishna giving an example. What is pariprashna? So if we read the Gita, we will see in many situations Arjuna is asking different questions to Krishna, which are examples of pariprashna. And also examples of surrender, how Arjuna is surrendering to Krishna, and even other characters also are surrendering. And that gives an example also of the pranipata. Lesson 6, we talked about what is real progress. Real progress is spiritual, agragati. We talked about this eternal war between Dharma and Adharma, and we talked about Mahasambhuti, when the Supreme Personality, Krishna, takes a physical body in this planet of ours, in this society of ours, and it remains for a number of years according to how long that physical body lasts, present apparently as a normal human being that can interact with us in the planet, and that is the Mahasambhuti. Lesson 7 and 8, we looked at some of the shlokas or chants or verses of the Gita. I just chose a few of them and explained the different words and the meanings. And finally, we talked about Bhaga and how Krishna used Bhaga to do the whole Mahabharata. So that's what we did so far. Now we are going to go into the Dharmakśetra and the Kurukśetra. The chant or the shloka where the words Dharmakśetra and Kurukśetra are introduced. This verse starts with Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra uvacha. So Dhritarashtra said something. He said, what did he say? Okay, now let's understand who is that Dhritarashtra. The meaning of the word Dhritarashtra means the one that holds the physical structure. And that is the mind. What does it mean, hold? A human being, as long as we have the parallelism between mind and body, then we are alive. If the mind separates from the body by some reason, it could be that the body became too old and the body is damaged, but it could also be that one gets a mental shock. Then the mind can lose the parallelism with the body and separate. If the mind is not in the body cannot keep its physical structure. It will start decomposing. In a short time, it will lose its integrity. So the mind is the holder of the physical structure. So the name Dhritarashtra means the holder of this physical structure. So that's the mind. So the blind king is the blind mind. So now the blind mind said something. In this slide, I'm just referring to what I mentioned, that life is that parallelism between the body and the mind. If the mind is dissociated from the body will cease to function. You may have a body lying here. If there is no mind, it means that the heart will not beat, the breathing will not be there, and the body will start decomposing. So that parallelism is the main thing. That is life. Mind is blind. So Dhritarashtra, the king, is blind. What does it mean, blind? It means the mind can do anything. The mind can do something great. The mind can do something terrible. What is needed? Is needed the capacity to choose between doing something good or doing something bad. That capacity is conscience. So mind needs conscience. What is conscience? Sanjay. Sanjay was the attendant of the king. He was the one that the king will always ask questions. So the blind king will ask Sanjay, what's happening? What's going on? Sanjay is the conscience. In Sanskrit, we also use the word vivek. Vivek means conscience. Sanjay is that conscience that helps the mind to see. So now we have two characters. Dhritarashtra, the blind king. Sanjay, his attendant, the one that tells the king what's going on and what is happening. So that first verse was, Dhritarashtra said, "O Sanjay, say in this battle of Dharmakśetra and Kurukśetra, these two parties, belligerent parties, came, my party and the party of Pandu. So what did they do? Sanjay, you can see, O conscience, you can see," said the blind mind, Dhritarashtra. So that is the verse where these two words, Dharmakśetra and Kurukśetra, were introduced. There is always this fight, adharma versus dharma. Dharma is the good force, adharma the evil force, and they are fighting. An eternal battle. It's going on all the time. To become good, what can we do? We can give strength to merit, to the positive, and we can reduce the evil because they are present within us all the time. As long as we are human beings, the fight will be going on, good against evil. If we encourage good, discourage evil, then good will win. If we encourage evil, then evil wins. So it's up to our actions, what we do, which one we encourage. This war is happening. in the Dharmakśetra, in the Kurukśetra. So what is the Dharmakśetra? The Dharmakśetra is our structure, human structure, this physical body. We need a physical body to practice Dharma or Dharma sadhana. So to fight this war, we need the physical body. What's the physical body? The Dharmakśetra. Without physical body, we cannot fight this war. This physical body is quite rare. There are so many beings just in our planet. Different types of being. There are unicellular, multicellular, plants, animals, so many insects, so many types of animals, so many types of plants. You just look around, you will see so many beings are there. But human beings are small in number in relation to all the other beings. So you can understand that to get a human body is not that easy. So it's a rare opportunity. Now we have the physical body. This physical body is the Dharmakśetra. The fight is starting. What is the fight? Good and evil are fighting within us. That's the Dharmakśetra. What about the Kurukśetra? So Kuru, the word Kuru means to do. Kshetra is the field. So it's the field or the place that something is to be done. That's the world. We have to do some action in the world. Every day we are doing action. Even if we do nothing, that's also an action. It's something we are doing. Just breathing is an action. We are acting all the time. By existing, we are acting, we are fighting. So now we have these two fields of fight. One, we are fighting within, that's the Dharmakśetra. Second, we are fighting outside, that's the Kurukśetra. Continuing talking about the fight. So now the Mahabharata. There is a fight between Pandava and Kaurava. 5 Pandavas fighting the 100 Kauravas. What's the meaning of Pandava? We have talked about it. Pandava is moving towards self-realization, towards spirituality. What's the Kaurava? Kaurava, in that verse, Dhritarashtra, the blind mind, is saying, what are my people doing and what are the Pandava doing? So the Kaurava are the people of the mind, or the party of the mind, of the blind mind. What is the party of the blind mind? The sensory organs, they are attracting this mind towards different external objects, what we see, what we hear, what we touch, and then using the motor organs, hands and feet, and I am going after all those things. So these are the 10 members of the party of Dhritarashtra. But these 10 members, they are attracting the mind in all directions. So all directions, the representation of all directions is 10 directions. It means there is up and down, 2 directions. Then there is like north, south, east, and west. And then those in between, northwest, northeast, southwest, southeast. So that makes 4 plus 4, 8, plus up and down, 10. So 10 directions. Mind is going 10 directions. With the 10, 5 sensory, 5 motor organs, 10, 10 times 10 makes the 100 parties of the 100 people or 100 characters of the mind. And the fight is against merit and demerit, good forces and evil forces. So this fight is happening all the time, inside us, outside us. What about these 5 Pandavas? The 5 Pandavas are the 5 phases of the fight. So this fight is happening first in our first chakra, second in the second chakra, third in the third chakra, fourth in the fourth chakra, fifth in the fifth chakra. And each Pandava is representing one of the chakras. Sahadeva, the base, Nakul. Na means not and Kul means the shore. So it's not on the shore, so it must be in the water. So that's the liquid. Arjuna, which means energy, is the luminous factor. Bhima, controller of the air, so aerial factor. Yudhishthira, one who maintains the balance, so the ethereal factor maintains the balance of all the factors. The ethereal factor, the most subtle one, we cannot see it, we cannot perceive it, but that's the factor that maintains the balance of all the other factors. So those are, in the 5 phases of development, one is attaining control, elevating one's consciousness through each and every chakra, therefore attaining gradual spiritual development. So this fight is happening within everyone. Every human being, this fight is happening in the Dharmakśetra. But it's also happening outside, in every village or town, every country, in the entire cosmos, in the Kurukśetra. Many people sometimes feel that, oh, so many difficulties in life, or so much problem, this, that. That is the fight. There is no way to avoid it. It is going to continue. What we have to do? Make ourselves strong so that we can win that fight within us. Create a strong society so that Dharma can dominate and not Adharma. Let's see about Krishna. In Krishna's time, now we are talking historically, the society was very divided, very fragmented, small social groups, small states, so and those were fighting amongst themselves. Why they were fighting? It was just like a matter of ego of the chief. Personal ambition, they want to have to dominate more, so they will attack the neighbor. And just for imperialistic reasons. And the land in that time that was kind of having that was all connected, was not, it was not only India. It was a very vast stretch of land. There was China, Siberia, all the way to Siberia, and south all the way to the Indian Ocean. West, it is all the way to the Mediterranean. East, all the way to Japan. So it was a very vast area. And all that area, there were all these small kingdoms, everybody fighting amongst themselves, and Adharma was dominating. Because if the chief or the emperor or the king is adharmic, invading others just to dominate, he's creating wars, the society is a mess. It's living in a time of war is really not a good thing. So that was the situation. So with that background comes Krishna. So what Krishna thought, according to how we understand? If there is a model for the society, for others to follow, that will help to establish Dharma in that vast land. So make a strong India, and that will be the model. Because Krishna was not a guru or a spiritual teacher only for some individuals. He was what is called a Dharma Guru. Dharma Guru, a guru for the whole society, to establish Dharma. Establish Dharma, okay, within, but also in the society. So some gurus come, their scope is just they teach a few people like that, but they don't change the whole society. But Krishna is Dharma Guru to change the whole society. And he not only teaches the spiritual philosophy, means he will teach the philosophy, but he will also make sure and show how it can be implemented in practical life. In the Mahabharata, the Gita, now Krishna is guiding Arjuna in a way that Arjuna will implement Dharma in his life, internally, and he will also fight to implement Dharma in the society, following the teachings of Krishna. So that it's very special when the Supreme Personality is manifesting in a physical level, giving the philosophy at the same time showing how it works. Means giving a practical example. That's the way to do it. It's a rare opportunity. So the idea, that was the idea of Krishna. Unite all these small kingdoms, and what's the strategy? The Mahabharata was the strategy. We may question, oh, so many people died, such a war, destroyed so much. We don't know, our small mind cannot understand, but that was the strategy Krishna used, and in the end he established Dharma. After that, Dharma remained for some time. Now, if we say it's like thousands of years ago, so it took these thousands of years for Dharma to go on losing, until today we see how the society is. Anyway, no comments on that now. That is, okay, so that's the first part of the presentation, the Dharmakśetra and the Kurukśetra. So Dharmakśetra is our physical structure, the fight of Dharma. In the Kurukśetra, where we are acting now, if we become very strong with Dharma within, automatically our actions on the society will be to establish Dharma in the society, to inspire other people to become dharmic. So that has an effect there. I'm going to the next part of this presentation. Next part is about the other character, which is Arjuna. What Arjuna represents. So Arjuna represents this third chakra, Manipura chakra. Manipura chakra is the luminous factor. It controls the luminous factor. There are 5 fundamental factors. The solid, first chakra. Liquid is the second chakra. Luminous or energy or light is the third one. So that is Arjuna. Why there is so much importance of Arjuna in the in the Gita and in the Mahabharata. It's Arjuna who is fighting all the time, who is winning, who is killing the enemies. So it's this chakra, the third chakra, is very important chakra. Arjuna represents that power, that energy of a human being. So we all of us have this power, this energy. Now what happens? We have to use it properly. Use that power to strengthen the good. If we use it in this way up to elevate the mind, then human being can become, let's say, God. If we are using it on the downwards direction, what happens? That same human being can become a demon. So now we are in between the divine and the degenerated, let's say, demoniac. And this Arjuna is the power that we have that can be utilized in either way. Now, if that power is guided by Krishna, means Krishna is in the higher chakra, if it's guiding this power, which is Arjuna, so it's on the way up, so it is working towards Dharma, it's working towards spirituality. In the Gita, in the whole Mahabharata, Krishna provided inspiration to Arjuna. So that power, that Arjuna was moving up. So that was happening, let's say, Krishna is inspiring Arjuna. So what's happening in the human structure? Krishna is inspiring the human energy to move towards him, his Sahasrara chakra. So that human consciousness, human energy on the third chakra, on the Manipura chakra, is being inspired to move towards Krishna, towards the Sahasrara chakra. And that's the spiritual practice. What is the spiritual practice? We are making an effort to direct our energy towards Krishna, towards the highest chakras. If we are not doing that, it will move downwards because things don't stay stationary. Something always moves in one direction or another. So either it's moving up or it's moving down. It may pause for a moment, but it will not stay stationary for a long time. It has to move. Spiritual practice, it's important. We have to do regularly, because if we are not pushing it up, its tendency is to go down. And if we are not putting our effort to elevate the mind will automatically go down. So this mind, this Dhritarashtra, which holds the structure together, is always influenced by the senses. What we see, what we hear, we are always being influenced by that. We touch something, we feel attracted to it. Oh, it feels so nice. We smell something. Oh, such a nice smell. You go into that direction. You see something. Oh, so attractive. Oh, go in that direction. You taste something. Oh, this food is so good. Oh, I ate one. Oh, I want another one. Then after eating many, I shouldn't have eaten so many, but the mind is blind. It just goes taken by the senses. How to counteract that? we have to develop conscience. It's the Sanjay. Sanjay will be telling to Dhritarashtra. Conscience will be telling to the mind, this is happening, don't do that, do this. So conscience is very important. What is conscience? How does it develop? Conscience, there is a formula. If we have good force and we have evil force, okay? If good force is more than evil force, it means the result is positive, then there is vivek or conscience. So we need more good force. How to do that? We have to encourage the good force. So everything we do, we make an effort to encourage the good force. If I eat something, I should think, this food that I'm eating now, is it going to, let's say, encourage the good force or the evil force? The good force is make my mind divine. The evil force is make my mind crude, animal-like. Now, depends on what I eat. Suppose I'm eating a lot of animal protein, food coming from animal. Now what happens is that the animal propensities or animal tendencies are very much present in that. So if I'm taking much of that within me, so I'm encouraging the evil force. Maybe I'm not noticing it immediately. I'm not noticing, but I'm eating that food and it's creating that, encouraging the evil force, but still I'm okay, I'm doing everything good and like that. But then it comes a moment when I need to take a decision. I need to take a decision, and if good force is stronger in me, I will take decision according to conscience. If evil force is stronger in me, then I will take a decision maybe according to some mental propensity, or it will not be a good decision. Let's say I'm having a conversation with, let's say, suppose it's a husband is having a conversation with the wife, and then suddenly they say, one says something and then they start fighting, and then the big problem is created. Then later on he will think, oh, where was my mind at that moment? Why did I do that? I should not have done that. But at that moment, his conscience failed him. Why the conscience failed? Because evil force was stronger. He didn't do so much to strengthen the good force, so the evil force dominated. When it happened? In the moment of war, in that critical moment, then you notice that, why did I do that? Evil force took over me. Why? Because in my life, before that, I had not encouraged the good force enough. So everything is important. Everything we do, if we can encourage the good force, at the critical moment, it will be on our side. If we don't encourage it at the critical moment, it will fail us. It will not be able to react or to overcome the evil force. So that's about conscience. Conscience is this resultant force. I'm encouraging good force, so within me, good force is stronger than evil force. At the time of need, good force will win. But maybe I'm not encouraging good force enough. Evil force is strong. I'm not noticing it. I'm just living regular life like this. But now comes a critical moment, a decision to be taken. Evil force wins. I make a bad decision. That's how it happens. So we have to be all the time strengthening the good force, because at the time of need, that will make the difference. At that time, it's like you are giving training weapons to the evil force, and they are not doing anything. They are just taking the training, getting the weapons, and you are not doing that with the good force, and the good force is just becoming lazy and distracted. And then the moment comes, evil force is more prepared, wins the battle, and you think, oh, why did that happen? Now, at that moment, you cannot immediately strengthen the good force to overcome the evil force. So then because it takes time to do that. So this conscience is that resultant. So we have always to keep it positive. We have always to make sure good force is dominating. And we should never underestimate evil force. Oh, but if I just do this, it will not create much effect in my mind. See, it didn't create any effect in my mind. Yes, you don't see it at that moment, but when the critical moment of the battle comes, then the difference happens. All right, this much about conscience. And here is a kind of a translation of that shloka of the Dharmakśetra and Kurukśetra. So Dhritarashtra said, gathered on Dharmakśetra and Kurukśetra to fight a battle, what are my men and the men of Pandu's party doing? What are the men on the side of virtue and dharma and the men on the side of sin and adharma doing? O wise Sanjay, O one with deep insight, O Viveka, because Sanjay is Viveka, tell me, I am Dhritarashtra, the blind mind, the mind that cannot see. So you tell me, I'm listening. So mind, in the critical moment, will ask the conscience. If conscience is not developed, then evil will dominate. All right. That was the presentation of today. That was the content of today's class. So you can think about your questions while I will come now to the final summary. Before going to the summary, let's see, maybe I have a question to ask. Let me see. Let me ask one question here. This is the question. What is the correct answer? Oh, just a moment. If you can find what's the correct answer. Okay, let's analyze here the answers. The first one is Krishna had the power of anima. Actually, this power of anima, to make oneself small, doesn't mean that like Krishna has the physical body and he's standing here and then he will becoming very small like that. That's not the thing. The thing is it's a mental thing. These occult powers are a mental thing. So he has this capacity to make his mind penetrate in every and understand every particle of physical matter and of mental, of mind. So that's the power. So this one is not that. Then even though Krishna had occult powers, he did not use them, but he did use them. And the whole Mahabharata was done in that way because Krishna was controlling all the events plus all the guiding the character. So he was using his occult powers. Now the next one. Okay, I'm getting that. Oh, I didn't put the replies here. Let me put the replies. Okay, half of you have chosen number 3 and half have chosen number 5. Okay, so let's first look at number 4. Times of change are peaceful. It's not like that. Times of change, everything is changing. It's so much is happening. So it's not like that. Then the last one can sin for omission or commission. Yes, if we may think, oh, if I don't do anything, then I don't make mistakes. Not like that. One can make mistake by not doing. I even remember this saying of Martin Luther King, who said that one will not remember the words of the enemies, but the silence of the friends. So the friends didn't do anything. That's what we'll remember. So that's when you sin for omission. So that's the one. When Krishna comes, he is loved by everyone. No, he is loved by some, but hated by some others. So that's not really correct. All right. Okay. So that was about the question. All right. So now the summary. What did we talk today? Basically, we returned to what things that we talked previously, but just to emphasize it, that in our own life today, we are living here in this society at this present time. So this Dharmakśetra is our physical body. So we are in the Dharmakśetra. And in this Dharmakśetra, the fight is going on between Dharma and Adharma, evil and good. So that's happening within us every moment of our life, every decision we take. That's Dharmakśetra. But we are also living in this world. We have to do things outside all the time. We are going to work, we are going to study, we are taking care of our family. That's the Kurukśetra. We are doing all these activities. So also there we are fighting. All the time there will be decisions to be taken. There will be people doing things that we may like, we may not like. Things that are happening in the world. Because today, the whole world is connected through the internet, through the news, through social media, etc. It's one world. So whatever is happening in one country, in another country, to one person, another person, everybody's coming to know about it. People are thinking about it. So we are all connected. That's the Kurukśetra. We all have this tremendous energy which the human structure gives us the luminous factors, this Arjuna, now we have to direct it upwards through our sadhana or spiritual practice, through our actions in the world. We have to direct it upwards. And that's the Arjuna, the luminous factor, the Tejastattva. This Arjuna is not just somebody who was here 3,500 years ago or whatever, thousands of years ago, and oh yeah, I was interested. This Arjuna is present within us. And at the same time, in the Kurukśetra, we are the Arjuna. In the Dharmakśetra, Arjuna is that energy in our third chakra. But now in the Kurukśetra, we are the Arjuna. And we need this vivek, this conscience, because mind is blind, can take us anywhere. We may think, oh yes, I always want to do good things, and then you are doing something wrong. Why? Because that's mind without conscience can do anything. So that was today's presentation. We have a few minutes left. You can ask your own questions now. Just type the question in the chat window, and we have a few minutes to talk about it. Okay, the first question is here. If Krishna was a good person, why people hated and why other people loved? Why it's always like this? Because if somebody is on the good side, the people on the bad side will tell negative about it. So Krishna is so polarizing that some people will tell the worst things about him and others will tell the best things. So any, let's say, Dharma guru or any person who is fighting for Dharma, you will find that on one side there will be people who criticize Maximum and say this is the worst person. On the other side there will be people saying, oh, this is the best person. And now you will be confused because you will see both sides, and now you are the one that you have to decide who is right, the one who is telling that is good or the one who is telling that is bad. So this is a situation we are facing even today. We get news all the time. Some are true news, some are fake news. How to differentiate that? Some news will be telling very good about certain person, other news will be telling very bad, and you don't know which one is correct. So now conscience has to be very well developed so that you can figure out what is really the right, who is telling the right one. So it's a very difficult time for, let's say, the simple people. How can the simple people decide? Like you get some news on the TV, do you believe it or you don't believe it? And then through the internet, you get so many other news telling other things. Would you believe that or not? So it's tough time. Okay. I don't see any other questions now. All right, so I'm going to end this presentation. That was the class number 9 of our course. Thank you very much for participating, and you get the video. Namaskar.